Okay, thank you so much for tuning in to Stories with Kishen without the frog. Stories with Kishen, ordinary people with extraordinary lives. And we are here again with, I can't even say she's up and coming. I think she's already been, and people are just now coming to know who she is. None other than the founder of Birthwise Doula Services. I've had her before, and I'm having her again, and I'm gonna have her again, and maybe again. Is none other than Toni Curtis. Toni, thank you once again for joining Stories with Kishen. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, Kishen. It's always fun to sit and talk with you. I love it.
You know what? And you just have so much going on. See, I thought the last time we talked, you had a lot going on, but now you have even more going on. So just get us caught up with what you've been doing, and then we'll talk about what's up and coming with you.
All right. Well, I just came back from NCSL, which is the largest national legislative conference. Lawmakers, dignitaries, everyone comes there that is influencing the legalities in our country. It doesn't matter which way or go, but we're all there. So I was there to exhibit and speak on the behalf of Doula International and doulas in general, and kind of introduce people to the concept of doulas. And if you really know what a doula is? Have you ever met one? Have you ever had one take care of you? So,
No,
you know what I ended up doing at the conference? I ended up showing them what a doula is. I was taking care of people right there at the table. Can I help it? You can't
really.
say what we are. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely. I share some pictures with you.
So,
Absolutely.
so you got me curious now because you're at a conference,
Hmm.
and most people, I guess for me, I think of a doula as someone who is helping during the birthing process. And I'm
Right.
I'm going to make this assumption, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure that you weren't helping people deliver babies at the conference.
No, but doulas help with perinatal and maternal health. So
Yes.
most doulas start out as what we call birth or postpartum doulas. Then doulas go into broader categories, which is what we call full spectrum doulas. So when people went out looking for doulas, they didn't realize that there were doulas that do a lot of different things. The goal is to support your health
Mm,
in order for you to be better. That is
mhm.
the goal
Women's
of the
health.
vast majority. Yeah, we focus majority. The majority of us focus on women's health. I am focused on women's health. I've spent more years studying the anatomy of biological women than anything else. While I may
Hmm.
support others, I may not be as good at supporting you because I may not understand certain things about you. And I have
Okay.
to be cognizant of that. It's a very difficult spot to be in right now in this country, is just because it's you're transforming everything about what you know. And I am a person that deals with the body as it is. I don't always know how to deal with things that I don't know how to manipulate in regards to how do you want me to help you? Right. Now, the nervous
Right.
system is the nervous system.
So you went to the nervous system. That
Because that's what the doula is regulating. They're regulating your nervous system.
ah, okay, then that makes sense. So you were at this conference. Were you speaking at the conference?
I was exhibiting. I was at a table talking about Dona International doulas. But
Got it.
one of my skills as a body worker, so doula is the support part, right?
Hmm.
Doula is that knowledgeable support part that's primarily focused around perinatal and infant health, maternal health, really. So,
Okay.
but over the years of practice that I have, I've specialized in body work. and body balancing. And so
Okay.
I ended up helping women that were not going to have children and didn't understand the relationship to the nervous system and needed somebody to hear them. And so I brought them into my booth and we sat down and talked. What does this look like for you? What does it look like that you've decided to have your uterus and your ovaries removed in order to control a medical condition? What does it look like um, for you walking through this life um, as a woman and the perceptions that they have to deal with from others? This is not uncommon ground for us. This is, when people
Mhm.
come to you with their stories, they need somebody to listen and to make them feel connected to their own body. Because
Interesting.
that person that I was working with and others that I work with like this oftentimes face ridicule because they're making what may seem like a harsh decision at a very young age. And so we don't know what they're faced. Other things, working as a woman with a high stress job and the way that um we work the way our bodies handle it. And so I did I they took pictures of this. I actually have pictures of it I can share with you. um the woman had a lot of TMJ and neck tension because of all this stress and this high tension job. So I said, okay, well, come on, I'll do a little body balancing with you. Come sit in this chair real quick. And I worked on her. Right?
Really?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Because it's not just our lower half that makes our bodies work. We, we're,
That's true.
we're biological women and we have a certain way that our body responds and supports our health. And there are a lot of things that we don't realize are counterproductive in the way that we're managing it because we have no idea what part of us is being affected and why the importance of these non medical trajectories, traditions, practices, and knowledge are important. We have no idea. So until you meet someone that says, you know what, I put my money where my mouth is. Come sit down. Come sit down.
Mm.
Let me show you what it's like to work with a
That
traditional body worker. Go ahead, honey.
it no, it just reminds me, and I don't know why, but I'll just say it. I remember a long time ago, I was in high school and I was involved with junior achievement. And our role, we made cutting boards. They were plexiglass cutting boards made out of the same material as airplane windows. So
Hmm.
it just proved the toughness of these cutting boards. But people didn't understand the value. Now, people use cutting boards, but it wasn't until I dropped it on the ground and it didn't break that they realized the benefit of it. So sometimes you just have to show people before they believe it.
Right.
So I get it. I mean, again, I don't know why that analogy came into my mind, but that's what it is. People don't understand until you show them what that means. So I know we've talked about like infant health and, women's health, but there's so many different tentacles, if you will, to what a doula does. Um, but you have been tapped on the shoulder and you have been featured. You've written articles for different publications. The one I think is called International Doula. You have written an article there about current U.S. federal rights and the ongoing reproductive health struggle. And you've been featured in another publication. I want to show that real quick because I just like to brag. So let me show that. It did not go away. Let me try some. Oh, there we go. but it's a beautiful picture.
Oh, there it
Let me
is.
know when you can see it.
I can see
Oh, see, I'll switch. Is that you?
it. That is me.
Two, it says 2 decades strong, transforming trauma into empowerment from peer educator to doula leader. Can I have your autograph?
You know it.
I'm just gonna just go through here quick. It just gives your whole bio. It's the founder of Birthwise Doula Services and brings over 29 years of global experience in maternal health, from physiological birth and lifespan model, integrative framework, blah, 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 blah. You got pictures of beautiful babies and just people that whose lives you've impacted, and just a
I'm gonna tell you
whole
something. Wait, I gotta tell you something, Keish, because she gonna get mad at me. Go back to that one picture just one time. So y'all
mhm,
know everybody has a community, right?
right.
Would be remiss if I did not mention the person in this picture. She gonna get mad because she don't like when I share pictures.
Uh-oh.
That is Nicole. When I'd have said after COVID, I'm going in these hospitals and I'm gonna go back into doing this full time. My babies were still little. My youngest was a little over 3 when I said nope, full time. I cannot watch this happen. I cannot watch what is happening to these families. That person standing next to me said, I'll come watch your children. Anytime you got to drop
Mm,
and go to the hospital, I will come and watch your children. I will come and take care of them. She's what I so in the Birthwise family, we call our moms co-moms, moms that give birth around the same time. This everybody who comes into Birthwise is family. Those are the Birthwise families. And so she's my co-mom. And we used to make jokes because she went first and then I went. Then she went again and then I went. I said, I'm done. I said, you gonna go again? She's like, nah, I ain't
yeah,
going
yeah, yeah, yeah.
again. She had
Oh,
2 children of her own, same age as mine, months apart, uh, and when I had to drop and say, "I'm headed to birth. I don't know how long I'm gonna be there," that person in that picture stood in and took care of my children, who allowed me to be able to do all of this work that I do now. She was my
wow.
support system. So
Mm.
she on and she's still there. She comes, she's still in the office. She still does a ton of stuff. She don't like to be seen. She be in the way back.
So she is the worker bee. She's like, okay, you do that. I'm going to do this. So she's pretty much filling in the gap where it needs to be.
Well, she's one of many on the team, but yeah, she's the unseen. Nicole is the unseen team member. Like she's the one that nobody sees. She's one of the first ones that I call when I come from a difficult birth. Um,
Mm.
she's the one that um if it's if I know I could trust somebody with my own children,
Yeah.
right? Because I have to leave my home to go take care of others. She stepped up without any hesitation to take care of my kids so that I could take care of others. So even though I am very proud of all of the work that I've done, but I had support. And that's one of those people who supported me. So I have to shout out Nicole.
Shout out to Nicole. And that's what's up. And, I think that's really what life is all about. You can't do life really alone, anyways. So when you have people to step in that area, it's good to give them their flowers. So I just wanted to share that um, with people so that they know that you the real deal. And if they don't, well, that's on them. If they don't, they know they will find out. Let's put it like that eventually. Okay. So with that being said, that article, of course, has or that publication has already been printed, but you are also working on another project. We talked about it briefly yesterday, and production is moving forward. where you're capturing, I think, something that's really unique. So just talk about that for a little bit.
So one of the biggest things is not really about me, right? I am I am a support to the life of others. And so I want to make sure I bring forward the people that I support and situations that you may not have ever heard of, but you might be one of the people going through a situation like that. A lot of times we don't know about it until we're looking for others that have gone through what we're going through. So, you'll get to meet Alexis, and that's the one that I talk about. In 30 years of practice, being that support for her and her husband as they welcomed
Mm,
in their first child and the challenges they faced and
mm,
wanting to know what could they do to make it better and what could they do to improve outcomes and how do I plan for this. And I wasn't just a support to Alexis, and her birth story is getting ready to come out. I was a support to her husband. His name's Christian, because Christian was faced with the most heart wrenching task. 2 days earlier, his wife would go in and give birth. 2 days after the birth, she would have brain surgery. He did not know he had a son, he had a wife, and he was going to be taking care of them both.
oh,
And he
wow.
needed help to step up. And he is the kind of person, I'm just say this about Christian and Alexis. These some strong people, okay? Christian and Alexis not for the weak of heart. These are strong people. And Christian is very much so the kind of man that is going to stand firm and strong, but he's
Mm,
still a human being. And while he
right.
may be able, they had to have somebody in their circle that that they trusted to support them when they were at their most vulnerable. So I didn't get to just support Alexis, I got to support Christian. I was there with him
Mm,
the day his wife went in for brain surgery. I helped him take care of the baby because it's a little stressful. You forget how to change a diaper, you forget when the baby needs to be fed. And we waited for her to return. Um,
wow.
so I wasn't just there. I was there when she said she wanted to have a natural birth, and they were just like, well, if you want, like, they didn't believe in her. I was there with them when they were facing the challenges in the hospital for her to continue her pregnancy. She came to me because they had offered her to abort her child because they
Oh,
needed
wow.
brain surgery. And we talked about it, and they wanted their child. They wanted their child. This was something that they agreed to. And we talked about what does it look like to have a diet that kind of improves outcomes for people who have these kinds of condition. And when they took the tumor out, it was 90% necrotic. It was almost dead. She had lost her eyesight. Like all of these things, these challenges, these fears that were being pushed on them in the wake of them having a child.
Wow.
So Alexis and Christian story is coming out. That'll be one of the next ones that comes out. I was just getting the edit back yesterday. We'll be doing the final editing on it. I had another mom. She went in Naomi's story. She had sudden onset preeclampsia that nobody listened to. Um, and her doctor was like, just go to the emergency room. You don't send a 40-week mom to the emergency room. That's just how dismissive.
40?
She was 40 weeks. She was like 39 and 6 days.
That's
She was
like
40 weeks.
killing.
Right. Right. So she had to deal with the obstacles of not being heard, being sent in, being told she got a diagnosis, got to deliver right now. Like her story. You have uh Miss Morgan. She had a myomectomy, which is a fibroid removal, but hers was laparoscopic, unheard of, not new technology to do removal like this in the uterus. Can she have a baby vaginally? Her story. A mom who had twins who just wanted to have them vaginally, and her story. It's like, wait,
Mhm.
you had twins and you tried to have them vaginally? Like, what went on? These are things that people here are looking for. They just don't get to see.
Mm. Wow. Yeah. I can't even imagine. I mean, all of those stories, and I know I might be frozen. But all of those stories, I mean, I mean, I can relate to the twin story because I have twins vaginally. But just thinking about the Christian story or, that family, was this their first birth?
Yeah, that was Alexis and Christian's first baby.
Alexis and Christian. I cannot imagine from a female perspective, the mother perspective, that you have this impending surgery or issue. And then, yeah, that's crazy. But I'm assuming it all worked out well.
You know what? You know what? I'm going to tell you, when people see Alexis and Christian's story and they realize the depth of it, the video you see, I have a video of them online. They're dancing. We partied through that whole labor. Like we had a good time. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We wasn't walking through that in fear. We got faith. I leave out this other part of me sometimes. But we had faith. We wasn't going in there with fear and trepidation. No, ma'am. We was celebrating this baby. And we danced and we partied through that whole labor. We sure did. We had a good time. It was a beautiful story. And when you hear Alexis talks about it, when you hear her talk about it, she said, I wasn't. None of what any, that's why I want you to hear her story. None of what you are
Yeah.
thinking she was thinking is not how she do. She had the person with her she trusted, me and Christian, and she knew she would be fine. And I remember the moment I actually broke down and cried was when I looked at Alexis and I realized she could see me. She had lost her eyesight like a couple weeks beforehand. And I was like, no, the way her eyes are responding and dilating, she's looking at me. And that was the minute her son was born. There is more to us than what is our physical parts. She walked
I'm
with
loving
faith
this.
and by grace. I tell all of my clients when we get ready to have that baby, the first thing I ask the moms, I say, are you ready? Yes, ma'am, Miss Toni, I'm ready.
Mm,
All right. It's by faith and by grace we walk. Come on, baby. I need you to put that's first. That's first and foremost. I don't always show
yeah.
this part of me, but you spend enough time, you'll find out. But yes, that is first. That's first. Above all.
So I want to talk about that a little bit because your stories are very intriguing. It makes people want to, well, wait a minute. I want to hear the story. I want to see the story. So where can people, you said they're online somewhere. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I want to hear the story.
You can go to the Birthwise YouTube page. Birthwise Doulas, the YouTube page. We already have some stories up. You'll get the second half of Twan's story. Twan is on the homepage of the Birthwise Doulas website, but Twan's story is deep. Not only did Twan struggle to have her baby the way she wanted to have her baby, in the end, her baby developed a rare genetic condition specific to Black people that I talk about a lot, which is lactose intolerance. Not lactose intolerance of breast milk, because there is some lactose to breast milk, but it's a lactose intolerance to the cow enzyme, lactose.
Mm,
And there is a thing that we talked about in our previous videos about failure to thrive. Failure to thrive
mhm.
is a slow death sentence. There's another disorder called refeeding syndrome. And so they go through and these babies get very sick. They can't keep food down because they cannot process this milk. right? And so it's one of those things that I talk about. And the reason why it became a big issue for me in study is I remember babies screaming and crying ever since I was little, whenever you'd give them formula. And they would go through all of these different formulas to deal with this constipation. And I'm like, why, if it's for the baby and it's good for the baby, why are they screaming? Well, when I went into lactation and I noticed that these babies did not have this issue, I was like, okay, so what is the issue? Because when you breastfeed a baby, they don't typically do this unless you eat a lot of dairy, because you give your baby what you eat.
Right.
Because we know as lactation counselors, that's my other job, one of my other ones. As a lactation counselor, we know that what you eat, you give your baby. Yep, switching them hats. so,
Right.
so, so we look at, okay, the baby is having a reaction, and I remember this even from my own children. My children reacted to peanut butter when I was breastfeeding them. I love peanut butter, but because I'm a
Mm.
lactation counselor, when it was time to feed them solid food, I had Benadryl on hand because I was suspicious that my children might be allergic to peanuts, and they are. And they are.
Mm.
But it showed because my daughter would get a rash. I remembered because I'm a perinatal health expert that when I was pregnant, I ate a peanut butter sandwich and my daughter failed her breathing. Right? This is where they do the biophysical profile. It's an ultrasound and they check the baby's breathing. They need to breathe so many practice breaths.
Wait, this is in utero?
Yes.
Shut up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I tell you this is a lifespan, this is all one thing, that there is no part about you while you are pregnant, before you was pregnant, and after you was pregnant. That baby, that husband, that boyfriend, whoever helped you make the baby, all of this plays into the health and the prosperity of you, the family.
Oh my goodness. I have never heard of this. It makes sense. It makes absolute sense that there was a difference when you noticed that you ate something and what was happening in utero.
I
I'm
noticed
blown
because
away.
of my expertise. Nobody else would have remembered that because nobody else would have pointed that out. And there's no one who's going to spend time telling you, hey, these are things that you could pay attention to. Now, for me, I knew to pay attention because I know I have the background to know. It's not something that I could necessarily tell another person. They're like, hey, my baby failed their breathe their practice breathing in utero, right?
Mhm,
This is a determination
mhm.
of how well the baby would do outside the womb. So when that comes up, there's no way for me to necessarily tell someone, hey, these are checklist items that you can do to try to see if this improves. But I took a mental note. When babies break
Right.
out with eczema and other types of skin rashes while breastfeeding, it is a sign of allergic reaction, that those children may be allergic to something in their environment. The thing about it
Mm,
is, there's not enough breastfeeding moms to be able to help identify allergens, because what happens with breast milk, it makes antibodies. It makes the cure too. So the
mm.
children usually don't get sicker, and breastfed babies tend to have lower rates of allergies. Because when you're ingesting food, you're also giving the baby the antibody for it. My children are susceptible to peanuts. However, my children are older now and their peanut allergy has consistently decreased. Why? My children are breastfed babies. They were given the immune system to augment. Um so
Mm.
it's it's more to the science. You can't say that it's always going to be that way, but it is a part of It's a part of all of this. Can I tell you every nuanced thing to say that this is definitely going to be an allergy for your child? No. Can I tell you indicators to look to see if this might be an allergy for a child? Yeah. I just had a mom that her baby was throwing up all the time. And I asked her history of allergies
Mm.
in her family. She said, well, my other son is allergic to tomatoes. I said, do you eat a lot of tomatoes while you breastfeed? She was like, yeah. I said, let's try not eating tomatoes and see what happens. The baby stopped throwing up. The baby was allergic to the enzymes that were inside the tomatoes that they broke down into the body.
See, this is it makes perfect sense to me. It really does. But if you're not able to connect the dots, you're going to miss some things that could be addressed and not so detrimental to whoever, I mean, your child and yourself even. So I learn so much every time I talk to you. And I'm just constantly understanding the why behind what you do and the importance of that knowledge and sharing it with others. And offline, what we talked about yesterday in terms of people that I wanted to connect you with, I still want to make that happen in some capacity. Um, so let's talk about, you've shared, a, we talked about what we talked about. I'm gonna have to quit saying talked about. When we first started recording, you shared information. Now you're sharing what's current. What's coming up for you in the future? I know you have some special trips coming and just continuing to spread your blueprint across the globe. But what's next for Toni Curtis?
So I will be at the seventh annual Women's Empowerment and Leadership Conference in Miami, September 8th and 9th. Um, I will be speaking about the lifespan model in my life and how I led to this, all of these nuanced parts that I ended up deciding, you know what, I need to change this. I need to change the perinatal health standard so that we incorporate more about the life of a person in order to better help them. I just gave you an example with lactation, right? This is a life element that goes overlooked, unthought about. No one considered it. It might be an easier answer to why something is going a certain way. And there's a number of elements to your life that are this way. The other thing is I will be at the Doula Summit. I am the director of advocacy for Doula International, so I will be at the Doula Summit October 22nd to the 26th. I will be in Seattle. There will be times where you can come and meet with me, speak with me. We have for anyone who is wants to do perinatal health, anyone who wants to be a doula, it is for anyone that's working in that arena or wants to know. Is you can get continuing education hours while you're there. There are a ton of speakers, breakout sessions all around various aspects of health. I will tell you, I learned the most about torticollis at one of those conferences. If you don't know what torticollis is, come to the conference and then you can find out. Uh-huh. See?
Wait, because I'm like, what's
Uh-huh.
torticollis? How do you spell that?
Uh, then
Okay,
I
I'm
will
gonna look
be
that
in
up.
Dubai in December. I will be at Fortuna's healthcare awards. I am up for nomination for excellence in healthcare educator award. I will also be at CXO for Visionary of the Year award. That is in December. This next weekend, I forget, Birthwise has a retreat for birth workers, moms, health workers. It is for women. I'm sorry. I can only I specialize in women, y'all. Um and later we will be doing couples. I'm working up to couples. But this retreat is about restoration. We go through a number of things for you to be able to identify what helps you cope with your stress, your life. But at the same time, we like to have fun around here. So we're going to have good food, fun, laughs, dancing. It's going to go down. So in the beginning, we may be very
Wait.
focused on
Who's your age group?
what happened.
Because I'm like,
Everybody can come. Everybody can
so where do
come.
people find
As long
out
as you're an
about this?
adult.
Because it's needed. And what's the limit? I mean, what's your max?
So I only have 4 spots left right now for this particular
Okay.
retreat. If you are interested, email me at connect@birthwisedoulas.com and say that you are interested in the retreat. It is, I am giving you what transformed my life.
Mm,
Understanding the balance between the physical world and your spiritual health. That is learning the techniques of somatic healing, understanding the power that resides within you, and also giving you a place and space to just be. Nobody here needs anything from you. It is food, it is fun. If you need to go away and sit somewhere else, you can. Nobody cares. We don't judge. If you want to stay with the group the whole time, you can. At the end of the day, after we've done all of this deep work, we're going to have a good time because that's what we believe in. We got some old school games that work and they're a lot of fun. And so I wanted to make sure that I brought the things that restored me to the community that I love, which is the women that are looking for change, balance, support, how to rest, reset, digest, how do I activate the good parts of me when I feel like I'm being drained.
mm. See, okay. I'm gonna note that for next time. But
You ain't said that.
is there
You want to
any
come. How long can you stay? You want to be here for a while?
look? If I had the time, I do have a couple of things that's on my calendar that I cannot move. Otherwise, see, I'm gonna have to make sure that I get plugged in sooner so I can make provisions to get there. But I do have a prior commitment. But this is good information still for those that are in the area. And again, it's another way to showcase Birthwise doula services and the work that you're doing, not just in your region, but then again across the country and across the globe. So I want to thank you so much. I'm going to share this one real quick because I think it's important that people know what this is about. But I want to come back and find out about your conference and then talk about what's happening in that moment because with you there's never a dull moment. There's constantly something going on, which is all good. And then hopefully we'll get a chance to see if those connections are, and I don't know, maybe we don't share, maybe when they happen they just happen. So again, thank you so much, Toni, for sharing your humor, sharing your wisdom, sharing, just sharing yourself, because I think what you bring to the table, what you share with people, again, you're talking about what happened in utero when you ate peanuts, and I'm just blown away by that. So thank you so much for sharing that part. And um, I guess until next time, take care. God bless everybody. Follow her. What's your YouTube channel again so people can follow you?
Birthwise Doula Services. So
So
then you can
check
find
out
us on
Birth.
Instagram, Birthwise Doula Services underscore. Is Instagram Birthwise Doula Services on Facebook. So anytime you go to the Birthwise Doulas page, everything, all of our links are right there at the top. Our YouTube, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, wherever you want to find us is all right there. Um, and we will be updating more regularly. I had to ramp up everybody because I be so busy and I kind of be everywhere because I'm gonna get off of this call and go to a birth. Um, so we here.
Okay.
Yes, I am. For
That
one
that's what
excited
this
mom.
that's what it's about. And see, and because births consistently happen, you can't, they just happen. It's just the nature of the business. So thank you again for Toni for sharing your story, sharing more. And we're going to talk about this book at some point because that's coming out. See, she is doing so much. I'm trying to remember it all, but nonetheless, because we are going to keep this conversation going, and people won't miss out. So thanks again for joining Stories with Kishen, Ordinary People with Extraordinary Lives.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.